Rising. Sitting here, say, 3 days after the actual attack, so can't believe that flamed up on me like that. But coming to you guys with such a grip on reality, it's been a big venue. Took on a couple of things that I normally wouldn't have, dealing with the judicial system, Department of Justice, and then the identity of our policing system. Most of them still play the game of you're a gangbanger, so I have to fight that thinking, not the button down and DACA version of a governor, but a blue collar khaki suit and t-shirt version of a governor. When it comes to what I actually started out pitching my $5 mixtape, to get back to my flow of industry information and connections, I started working with multiple talents as I started in the industry. Then I slimmed it down, did artist development, worked with my guys at the Armed Forces, and that's basically the Midwest Production Collective of Indiana and Chicago, East Chicago and Chicago talent. By the time I get back around to California, I focus my actual efforts based on Murder Block and the release of the Murder Block mixtape. Then the Hustler's Prayer mixtape. Then Crunch, self-titled CD. By the time I get back around to what it was for me, it would have been my release, Stone Love Elite, written in stone. And then my transition to Mr. English, based on acquiring the rights and the properties of Ruthless Records, and then moving towards Def Jam's releases and their administration. By that time, I'm knee-deep in what Barack Obama would call the elected position of president. So by the time I walk that down to a finite detail, I'm literally walking through a gauntlet of political socialites not quite clear on what it is to be a black male from South Central, walking through a Chicago point of interest where I'm literally graced to be blessed with the knowledge of political prowess and understanding. So then it gets to what it is to be commandeering all these different posts that most of our officials aren't literally representing or maintaining in the finite disposition of law. Then it becomes a point of following the walk through law school, graduating with a point of view by Honor Society, Harvard, then becoming a point of interest where I'm actually a professor. So learning to grasp all of that, along with my casual details as an entertainer, I have to walk with all that understanding. So as of lately, being a point of interest where I'm actually accosted in public as a public official, I have to relate to what it is to be one of the key components to the Los Angeles streets momentum. And that's, not necessarily bringing you the community's reverted version of it, but a single independent version of an independent American walking through this practice. So imagine, if you will, supposed to have full support by the police military's point of view, I literally have to stand alone and walk by myself, because I am that particular persona who stood on his own as a president for more than 13 years, operating companies and manifesting the realities for these corporations to actually stand alone and do well in the industries they were actually deemed for. When we talk like transportation, running a transportation operation for over 6 years as a staple and a mainstay in most of these communities, then having an independent record label that worked, say, counterclockwise to the industry standard. Then we also went into the independent and private development sector and distribution sector. So we stayed independent as a distributor for over, say 16 years. So we did pretty good standing alone, because most companies fold after a 4-year venture. I figured from 2000 to 2018, still thriving, still moving forward. By the time we get to what it is to actually operate a company, I started my company when I was 16. By that standard, it was street distribution and associate sales representative for major chains like Sam Goody, Music Plus, Warehouse. When it gets to what it is to be someone who actually works